Welcome everybody back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to cover the patch notes for Season 4 Reloaded real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Make sure you guys drop a like down below as it helps the video reach the algorithm a little bit, helps the channel out a ton. And if you're new, make sure you guys subscribe so you guys do not miss out on any of the new zombies content tomorrow. So without further ado, let's get right on into today's video. Want to unlock all new mastery camos like Singularity ASAP? Check out Mitch Cactus, the biggest and the most reliable name in Call of Duty. They offer instant delivery DLC codes like Monster Energy, plus lobbies delivered in under an hour. Everything is 100% safe and legit for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Trusted by the community and seen all over YouTube, Mitch Cactus has over 20,000 verified reviews and thousands of personal vouchers. Make them the go-to for all things Call of Duty and even other games like Battlefield 6. Use code SPAZO to save 5% off for a limited time only. All right, here we are on the patch notes. Now, these patch notes are a little bit interesting. So if we do go at kind of the top area, so we have a ton of weapon tuning. Now, specifically pointing towards some of the newer weapons in the game, or not really some of the OG guns, but more of the guns added throughout the seasons, okay? So we can kind of check them out real quick. Obviously, we're going to skip over multiplayer. This stuff is for zombies. This is for multiplayer as well, but we will go through the zombie stuff as well. So we can see the Voyak. The Voyak KT3 has maintained very high usage and strong performance for multiple seasons. Its max damage range and recoil were generous given that it also excels at handling and mobility, so those have received a slight correction. Dang it, man, the Koyak is awesome. I don't want this thing touched at all. Slightly increased gun kick and view kick. You suck, Treyarch. It's okay. The Voyak will probably be surpassed by the AN94 tomorrow. So next we have the Maddox RFB. We hit the Maddox RFB with significant recoil and damage range nerfs back in Season 1 Reloaded and Season 2. Since then, it has slowly fallen in favor as further updates improved other ARs and new weapons entered the meta. So we are partially reversing some of the original adjustments. So if you don't understand what this is saying, when the Maddox came out, the Maddox was really good, but they nerfed it. They nerfed it a lot, right? Pretty much, okay? So what they're saying here is as more updates came out, they practically forgot about this weapon and just let other weapons kind of surpass it more and more, and people stopped really using the Maddox, right? So what they're saying here is they reversed a lot of those OG nerfs that they did and to kind of help it out a little bit. So we can kind of see it right here, medium damage range, 22 damage turned to 23, and obviously the range and whatnot. So it says slightly decreased view kick strength and deviation. So Maddox RFB Echo Fire barrel damage adjustments. This is the burst attachment for the Maddox. So we can obviously see a damage range for medium damage range. It updated a little bit, which isn't a significant change for us zombies players, but hey, anything helps, right? The AK-27. The AK-27 is solid, but hasn't quite broken out of mid-pack in usage or performance. It will now have a new max damage profile that makes headshots more powerful up close by default and with the damage barrel. So here we go. So maximum damage range from 26 to 28 damage. We can obviously see the range is a little bit nerfed. Actually, not a little bit. That's kind of a big amount. Damage 22 to 26 at medium damage range. So we obviously have a good buff in terms of damage with this, which is good. MXR-17. The anvil conversion for the MXR-17 received buffs after launching on the weak side. It sucks. We feel there is still room for it to be stronger, so we have another improvement to its rate of fire endpoint when fully slowed down, and it will now improve recoil control to counteract the initial high rate of fire. MXR-17 anvil conversion. Final rate of fire increased from 400 RPM to 500 RPM, rounds per minute. Now also improves horizontal and vertical recoil control, so maybe this will be a little bit better in zombies. I mean, you know, it's a good change, but I don't know if it's really going to help this attachment. I think the problem is I genuinely just don't like the attachment. But, oh well. X9 Maverick. The X9 Maverick was another weapon that was very strong early on and received a series of adjustments to bring it in check, but has slowly kept creeping downward since. It's one that could easily jump back to being too strong. So for now, we just have some notable range improvements and a very slight burst fire cooldown buff. I love the Maverick, dude. I think it's so good. So obviously we have some damage range buffs here, and then it says burst fire cooldown reduced from 150 to 142. So it's not a massive significant change. It's not going to be super noticeable, but it should be faster to shoot is what I'm getting from that. SMGs, here we go. VST. The VST is receiving a small adjustment to its recoil to improve ease of use. We don't want to go overboard with this one since the weapon still has the best baseline full auto TTK in the game, BST adjustments, slightly decreased gun kick, and view kick. Cool, a little bit better on the recoil side. The Rev 46 is getting a small range adjustment and more notably, a minimum damage adjustment that makes headshots much more valuable at long range. So here we go, range, range, range. Not something zombies players typically need, but again, just like the other weapons, anything helps, right? Adjusted weapon position and ADS. Okay, the Kogat. So this one's interesting because it's getting nerfed. The Kogat 7 has consistently remained the top SMG since it launched, aside from ranked play weapons. We aren't touching its exceptional mobility and handling, but we're making some changes primarily aimed at reducing its power at range. We've rebalanced the base damage and headshot multiplier require an additional shot to kill in the minimum damage range and 2 headshots to improve it. While the other damage values also changed to compensate, the TTKs at those range remain the same. So, it's getting nerfed, man. It's getting nerfed. Headshot multiplier increased from 1.12x to 1.2. Okay, LMGs. We have added new ADS spread improvements to various attachments across all LMGs in order to support more targeted crossbar builds. General. Mobility spread muzzle, now also improved ADS spread by 7%. Tactical spread stock, now also improves ADS spread by 10%. Steady aim laser, now also improves ADS spread by 7%. Okay, here we go. The XM325. What does this have to say? The XM325 is receiving some recoil improvements to help with usability. Much like the VST, this weapon has a very good baseline TTK and an excellent range, so we are mindful of making too large of a recoil reduction. XM adjustments. Slightly reduced view kick strength and deviation, slightly reduced horizontal recoil. SoCal 545 attachment adjustments. Okay, this is in this tab. Okay, so MFS motion strike laser now also improves ADS spread by 5%. So not a significant change to that attachment there, but I guess it'll help. But definitely not something that you're going to be like, holy crap, they changed this and now it's so awesome. No. All right, next, the Warden. We see a lot of feedback and discussion about the Warden 308 and whether it's too strong. From the data perspective, it hasn't broken into the highest tiers of usage that usually result in a poor community experience, but it has been one of the best performers in the hands of those who use it. We are being measured with changes here because it would be very easy to completely knock the Warden 308 out of contention. We are reworking the damage ranges and some of the damage multipliers so that one-shot kills to the upper torso are much more limited, and a new mid-damage range step exists where the neck is not a one-shot kill either. Alright, that sucks, okay? So they're obviously changing the weapon, okay? But let's talk about realism, alright? Just saying, just saying, if the Warden hits you in the neck in real life, I'm sorry, but you're probably not gonna make it. All right, so where it says where the neck is not a one-shot kill either, maybe it should be a one-shot kill. I mean, I get it's a game, but come on. Come on, man. All right, so we can see headshot multiplier increase from 1.4 to 1.45, neck multiplier decrease from 1.4 to 1.39x, so not significant at all. Sniper rifles, XR3 Eon. A few of the XR3 attachments now improve ADS spread to support the brand new Vulcan minigun conversion. It's going to be so good when that drops, dude. I mean, it's going to have a belt-fed mag, I would imagine, but it should be good, hopefully. It probably won't, actually. It'll probably just be bad. It'll be like the XM attachment or the akimbo attachment it has. All right, so we can see compensator now also improves ADS spread by 6%. Exposed 73 stock now also improves ADS spread by 13%. Convergent box laser now also improves ADS spread by 10%. Special weapons. Grimhawk. Ooh, is this thing getting changed? The special weapon class gives us an opportunity to explore unique and sometimes risky weapon concepts alongside our traditional seasonal offering. Of course, the riskier the design, the more challenging it is to find that sweet spot where a weapon is fun and viable but not disruptive to the core gameplay experience. The Grimhawk definitely fell into this camp. We are very deliberately erred on the side of caution with its power. Now that it's had some time out in the wild, we feel comfortable bumping the power up slightly. we considered changing the lock-on characteristics, I cannot speak today, but instead opted to improve its damage across the board and pull back on the range a bit to keep the change measured. We'll keep an eye on the things and revisit if needed, but again, the goal with this one isn't to make it meta. As an additional note, in case there was any confusion based on the Season 4 blog, the Grimhawk's lock-on is strictly based on aiming close enough to the target, not whether or not an enemy is firing at you. You know, okay, well, hold on. We can see damage range is getting buffed, so it's getting a little bit of a tuning to the damage all around the board. Everything's kind of getting buffed with this weapon, which is good. You know, I think this weapon could be very, very good. It's good in zombies. I really like it in zombies. I think in multiplayer, it's not something to use against, obviously, other players. Warzone, I just don't see it being a meta. Maybe it is. I don't play it too much to the point where I'm using this. Endgame, no. You know, so, I mean, cool, but I don't know. You know, I mean, hell yeah, damage is getting buffed. Nice, right? All right, LTI break. We saw feedback on the LTI breaks penalties felt too punishing compared to its benefits on most weapons. We are removing the additional recoil penalty as well as bumping the bonus fire rate a touch. The minimap penalty and the opportunity cost incurred from picking this in an already stacked muzzle node feel sufficient to make it an interesting choice. Remove vertical recoil penalty. Ooh. Wow, so no longer will you get penalized vertical recoil. That's going to be crazy. Slightly increased rate of fire improvement on most weapons. That's going to be interesting. I love it. Score streaks. Address an issue where the lockshot's crosshair could disappear after looking away. So this is multiplayer fixes. We're not going to cover that. We don't play multiplayer. All right, zombies. By the way, this is zombie stuff too. Multiplayer and zombies have always kind of been 1-1. In terms of like weapon changes and whatnot. Zombies, maps, totem rank. So a lot of these are going to be issues that a lot of you guys find, but as you can see, there isn't much fixes, which is a little bit disappointing. No buffs or anything to, not really any field upgrades or augments from what I can see, but we'll check it out. Address an issue where the cell door in the group 935 lab would not open after reloading a save. Address an issue where zombies may not appear during the death scene at the end of Richtofen's quest. Address an issue where the Flammenfell trap could be pinged through objects. Address multiple collision issues, numerous minor visual issues. Paradox Junction. Address an issue where parts of the Blundergat could be seen through the workbench while it was closed. Address multiple collision issues, minor visual issues as well. Astra Malorum, same thing, collision issues. Ashes of the Dam prevented players from entering Old Tessie immediately after triggering the RCXD race remote. No, don't experience that. I don't play Ashes of the Dam too much, and funny fact, I've never done that. Yeah, whatever. We're going to move on. Okay, Rogue Run. Address an issue where reward pillars spawned at exit 115 near trees had incorrect collision. Curse. Address an issue where spores and ashes of the dam cannot be destroyed while the music box relic was equipped. Address an issue where players could lose wonder weapons obtained naturally while using Samantha's drawing relic. Address an issue where players could not acquire a weapon from the mystery box during round transitions while using Samantha's drawing relic. Address an issue where the cost to purchase Perca-Cola is increased by 1,000 instead of 500 when using the Dancing Arnie relic. Ooh, that's going to be a lot of help for some of you guys out there who are using this. So you've been overpaying, man. Inflation was not right, and they're dropping it, man. They're coming in and being like, no, price is cut in half. Hell yeah, to those of you out there who use that relic. Added a subtitle to indicate when the relic portal has been unlocked for accessibility. Updated the Agarthan device description to improve clarity. Directed, Totenreich addressed an issue where the Chili Chunk objective would reappear after being completed when loading a save, preventing progression. Survival, nuked. I kind of skimmed over these before I did this video, but check this out. Nuked. Sundergat has been added to the mystery box. That's huge, dude. That's so awesome. That's going to make that survival map so much fun. Obviously, we're getting the new map tomorrow, so, I mean, we're not really going to be playing Nuked. But for those of you out there who maybe will go back and play that map, that is a big W, man. You can hit the mystery box, and I know how rare it is to get the Blundergat, and I can only imagine how rare it's going to be to get the Sundergat. One thing I wonder is, I wonder if the Sundergat and the Blundergat are going to be in the mystery box, or if it's just going to be the Sundergat. You know, it doesn't say anything about removing the Blundergat and just adding the Sundergat, but I don't know. I mean, both of them would be interesting. You know, I imagine you try to get the Sundergat and you just keep getting the Blundergat. I mean, that I don't know. We'll see whenever the update comes out. Closed an exploit that allowed players to exit the playable area near the Expo booth while using the Ether Shroud field upgrade with the Burst Dash Major Augment. That, dude, that augment right there has led to so many out of the map glitches. I don't do out of the map glitches. I just they take too much work for me to even remotely try them. I know a lot of you guys out there do them, perfectly cool with it, whatever. But yeah, I've seen every single out of the map glitch needs that augment. If they just completely took this augment out, you couldn't get out of the map no more. It's actually kind of funny. Address an issue where zombies would not appear during the failed exfil death scene. I never experienced that because your boy doesn't die. Cursed Mars. Address an issue where certain weapons were unable to damage Mr. Peaks. Clueless there. Weapons. Address an issue where performing an empty reload on a Pack-a-Punch KRS-762 caused the player to reload twice before obtaining a full magazine when the extended mag attachment was equipped. Address an issue that allowed players to continuously purchase ammo when clip-only weapons were already at max ammo. Support. Got a little bit of fixes. Incorrect ammo count after a Mangler Cannon TED task. Address an issue where the sentry turret could be deployed on top of ARCXD. Address an issue where players could not see their marked ping. Few fixes, not really super important. Gobblegums. Address an issue where a temporary save file is created after using an exit strategy. Whoa, that's kind of cool. I didn't know about that. Address an issue where engine sounds persist after Old Tessie was destroyed. Address some alignment issues with the HUD. Audio fixes. Cool. Stability, address various stability issues. And then we have, here is endgame stuff. Address various issues with Zersa, pacing, and behavior. Address an issue with the Chaos Rounds and Frost Vertex unintentionally activating in some cases. Address an issue where a skill will be chosen without prompting if the player's exfil with an open skill choice. Address an issue where loading into a glitch fracture would reduce the amount of ammo held for an exotic weapon. Address an issue where gear drops would spawn fears too infrequently, slowing down progression in Operation Broken Mirror. Addressed a rare issue with Dr. Faulkner getting stuck below the map. Address some rare cases where the surveillance control drone cannot be interacted with. UI fixes and stability fixes, ladies and gentlemen. That is the patch notes. Let me know what you guys think about them. I'm hyped for the Sundergat to be in the box. I'm hyped for the new map tomorrow. I think most of us just care about the map. I mean, really, right? Map's so dope. It looks so awesome. Who cares about this stuff? But it is important to know some of the changes and some of the buffs whenever they come out, because you never know what weapon you're using might have just been nerfed into the ground. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the new map. Adios, amigos.